Welcome to the first video of Mead and Myth, where we share history, facts, and folklore on all things Mead. Oh, what better way to begin this series than to explore the tale of how the gift of poetry and storytelling was brought to humans, the Norse legend, the Mead of Poetry. Norse mythology just has a way of making everything cooler, and while Mead really needs no help on that front, how can we not get jazzed about the Norse god Odin doing Odin things like impersonation, seduction, and murder, all for the chance to steal a magic brew from his oldest foe, the giants? They say Odin will do anything for wisdom, even steal a god's drink, and what he stole was no ordinary mead. It was the very essence of poetry itself. When the gods of Asgard and Vanaheim brought a nasty war to an end, they sealed their truce by collectively spitting into a vat, and with that special divine saliva, they created Kvasir, the wisest being who ever lived, a man who could answer any question ever posed to him. One day he came upon two dwarves, Fjalar and Galar, who coveted his wisdom, and probably just needed to ask for directions, but instead killed the wise man. Weird he didn't see it coming. Anyways, those nasty dwarves slew Kvasir, drained his blood into 3 vessels, and mixed it with honey to create the Mead of Poetry. And so just like that, whoever drank the magic mead would become a poet and a scholar of unmatched brilliance. But those dwarves and their murderous tendencies got into trouble when they killed a lovely giant couple and parents of Suttinger. He caught up with them, and in exchange for their lives, they gave Suttinger the mead, of which, of course, he hid in a mountain, as any clever giant would. But he also made his daughter Gunnloth guard the mead for all eternity, because I guess stashing your child with your magic hooch was peak parenting goals at the time. Enter Odin the Allfather, who, in his great desire for wisdom and power and general hatred of the giants, thinks the mead should belong to him and his Asgardian buddies instead. So posing as a wanderer with the clever name Bolverkr, which literally translates into evildoer, he finds Suttinger's brother, Baugi, and tricks all of his farmhands into killing each other. Odin then approaches Baugi and is like, "Hey there, I see you have a bit of an HR issue here. I'm totally happy to do all the work they were doing for the summer, if you can hook me up with your brother's magic mead." Baugi feels like this is a great deal, also convenient, as his help have all mysteriously been slaughtered, and accepts. As promised, Odin works for the summer, and after harvest asks Baugi to approach his brother, and predictably Suttinger rejects the request to give his brother's slave a sip of divine mead, which of course again only emboldens Odin. He is not giving up. So working together, Odin and Baugi find a tool to drill into the mountain called Rati, and when they spy the vessels inside, Odin's like, "Thanks, Bee, it's been a slice," and transforms into a snake, going through the small hole. Baugi is furious at the trickery and moves to stab the snake Odin, but misses and effectively collapses the small hole instead, leaving the Norse god trapped in the mountain. Odin is hardly worried, though, as he finds himself no longer a slithery reptile, but a handsome and virile man, which is perfect for seducing the lonely giantess Gunnloth. In exchange for 3 nights together, Odin is granted 3 sips of mead, 1 from each vessel, and one can hardly judge Gunnloth's need for a little action and companionship as a great betrayal, but unfortunately, in every one of those sips, Odin consumes the entire draught. When he had finished drinking it all, Odin transforms into an eagle and bursts out of the mountain, leaving dear Gunnloth in tears, knowing he only wanted her for her mead. He flew like mad to Asgard, but of course, once Suttinger found out about the theft, he also transformed into a bird and flew after Odin in hot pursuit. Odin looked back to see this, and in a moment of great fear, lost a portion of the mead of poetry out his backside. It is said then that this sullied mead is the source of all bad poetry, and when consumed, the individual will spew inelegant nonsense. I would think in consuming this bad poetry would be the least of your concerns, but we don't want to lose the thread here, so anyways. Eventually, Odin lost Suttinger in the chase and made it to his fellow Assyrians in Asgard, who were waiting down below with a giant cauldron to catch the magic mead Odin would regurgitate into upon his return. And so this was the story of how the gift of poetry was brought into the realm of the gods and human poets, through mead and a Norse god up to no good. And with that, May mead be on your table.